What's up, y'all? So it's Lone Wolf today. So today we're gonna be replacing front and rear shocks on a 2000 Grand Cherokee WJ. Okay, use a 16 deep on an impact. See how it's spinning? Okay. When it does that, you're gonna want to get something to hold this in place. Okay. All right. So what I did was lock some small channel locks in there. Let's see if we can get it to spin, okay? There we go. So, loosened up, small channel locks, okay? If it spins, sometimes these don't spin on you and you can just pull them out, but we got a nut up there, okay? These shock mounts were like, they were starting to split and stuff, so I got a full set of front and rear. Being said, kind of undo these, okay, and you can pull this down, okay? You pull this shock down all the way out, okay? I'm gonna take this bushing off, just keep it whatever. But down below you can see there's 13. You can use PB Blaster if you're in the salt belt, rust belt. If you're in the area where you got a lot of salt or the rust belt, just tap with PB Blaster, okay? So what you can see is they come right out, okay? That thing, it's old, okay? It's an old, all these shocks are really old. So the reason why I did this is because you can see the ass end of my truck has been sagging. And it's been a steady thing that's been going on. But I really noticed it once I had my toolbox back there for long enough. It was really starting to sag. Plus I've been having handling issues, tie rod issues. I'm nearing about 300,000. Well, a little less than that, but you'll see. So these are rear shocks here. So yeah, I think I'm at like 255 or 260 right now. So it's just been one of those. So here you go, okay? Here's the top and bottom mount, which you will also see they didn't provide any bolts, bro. They didn't provide any bolts for them. As you can see, they're pressed in. Okay, so I'm gonna come back and do the front ones. I gotta get hardware for them. The rear, okay, we're gonna do some rears real quick. But you'll notice there's a mount here with a nut and a bolt, or a bolt and a nut and a bolt. So these here, when you do those, I recommend that you, honestly I'm not going to do it today, but you wire wheel them and paint them. And the reason is because I've seen people that have had broken shock mounts in the back and the truck is garbage, like it's gone, like you're done, game over. And a lot of people throw them away. So look at this piece here, okay? You can weld on a new wing and do that, but if they break and crack through, a lot of times people just throw them away. So preventative, I always say use PB Blaster on it. Sometimes I clean them up and I always paint them. I'm not in my shop right now. I'm in a parking lot getting the sun because I got a job to do right after. All right, so that's a 15. Run that out for a second, okay? Bottom is a 15 as well. Slip a breaker bar over this side with an 18. I don't know if that's going to seat, but we'll see. Okay. Show you guys what I do. Okay. So bottom one's out and it swings, see? So from here. Okay, so that's bottom here. Bottom. There goes the bottom shock, okay? Right now, we're gonna run this side in, okay? This side in. we're just gonna put it on there enough that we can shoot it, okay? But okay, PV blaster on the threads too, okay? So a little bit of snippy snip there and there, okay? Have this bolt handy. Try to see a good place to do this where you can see. It might just be up like that, so we're gonna snip. Okay, starting to extend, okay? And you see how it will not reach. Okay. Line up your shock. Okay, all the way in. Okay, that side's in. We're gonna finish putting this side in here, okay? These are easy, you just have to manipulate your jack, okay? When I say that, have it under the axle here, but just lower it a little bit so that this can slide in here. So you don't have to pick up the knuckle. You just lower the Jeep a little bit and get them installed. So that's set on this side. We're gonna go to the other one. Okay, a little bit of PV blaster there, there, and there. Okay. So yeah, I hope you guys are good, man. You got this heat wave coming through the West Coast, but up in Oregon it doesn't look like it's getting that bad. Okay, we're gonna leave that how it is. So we're gonna go this side. Help, PV blaster here, bro. Hopefully I get a good shot without. All right, 18 wrench on one side, 15 on the other. Okay. There we go. So this one, it looks like the nut is fixed on here. That didn't move, so I'm gonna leave it. Could be I just tap it and it comes off and just rust on there, whatever. So you do a 15, beat the top out, okay? Old shock, I think it's screwed, bro. They said we're gonna put our bolt back to the bottom, okay? Okay, thread it a wee bit here, okay? Let's shoot this second. Let's go. Okay. Let's loosen up just a little bit. I need a little more flex. There. Okay. Snip our ties. Okay. The fronts, well, these are really easy, to be honest. Most cars you have to use a spring compressor and do all that, which really isn't that bad, but shocks on these are like super easy, dude. Okay, we're going out, baby. You'll see it'll stop right just shy right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is lower the jack. Make sure you have the stand on the axle so it gives some force upwards. Okay, I say that because a lot of people will stick them on stands and they'll kind of mess them a little bit. I just do it this way, it's easier. Maybe other people have another way of doing it, I don't know. So I'm going to lower the jack just a little bit here. Okay, it's just about enough room. So you're going to take the top bolt and you're going to try and push up, pull up on that shock a little bit. I'm trying to wiggle it in place, okay? You may need to go down on it just a little bit more. So there. You gotta kind of have it just right to get the sweet spot, but you can see I got a thread. So these right here, man, I cannot stress enough, paint the crap out of those, bro. They rust out bad, especially if you're wheeling or doing stuff like that. They rust out really bad. Like bad. I just got done with sway-in links on here not too long ago, so those have held up really good. This side wasn't that bad. It was the other side, dude. I used PB blaster, bars, all sorts of stuff, and it took me forever to get them out. So what I do say is when you do sway-in links on these, use anti-seize on the bolts. Yeah, man, that's rear shocks. The fronts, man, I can't believe they didn't send me no hardware with it, so I'm probably gonna do them back at my place. But yeah, I'm pretty much done, bro. I'm like almost done. So I'm gonna put a tire back on it, but I threw that shock back in there. But yeah, you can see they should have given me some hardware with this. There was nada, bro, nothing. What's up, y'all? So I just got back from the store. I went and got hardware. Okay, so what I went with was an M8 by 125 by 30 length, and I got matching M8 nuts like that, and I got some small lock washers. The lock washers aren't necessary, okay, but I do it because, well, it's just me, so I just choose to do that. So let's get started. I'm about to pull up. Alright, so like I said earlier, okay, 16 millimeter deep on an extension, got those in place, okay. Okay, we got the 16. I ran out of gloves, so I'm gonna be getting dirty on this one, but you can tell the bushings got split. Okay, 13 mil. 13 mil, okay. So pull this out. Alright, let's grab another shock. We'll see. So what I do with these is I'm running new lock washers with it. Don't ask me why I do this, but I do with a lot of different things actually. But I'll run a lock washer right there, and then I'll run a nut over it, okay? Just tighten them hand tight. We're gonna get it put in and set in all the way here in a second. Just nippy, bro. There we go. So some people extend them before they put them in. I'm a different cat. So we're gonna do it this way, okay? Alright, so we've got that loose. You see that thing's wanting to come down, so we're gonna see if we can pop this off. Actually, I would probably recommend doing that, just because you want to take this off, okay? I mean, I'm gonna try and do it this way. Pull the strap out, but you can see we take the top nut off, okay, and the top bushing. So take the top nut off and the bushing, and you're gonna let it ride up through there, okay? Let it ride. We're gonna come up top. So we're gonna reinstall a bushing over it and push that down, okay? And that goes back down on top. Now, you may have to use the lock pliers on it again to get it to tighten up. It may just go on its own and work its way in, but line it up with the existing mount where it was, okay? This will have a little bit of wiggle room in here, but not much, okay? The top is a 13, the bottom's a 13. Angle here where alright, where before I took them apart or whatever, I had some okay, those are tight, bro. One more on there. But I noticed when I did them, I had a gap okay? I had a gap in between the old bushing here and up top, and it was significant. Like, it was a significant gap, bro. So the top, 15mm head, okay? You can see there's no space between this bushing and the top, okay? Still some wiggle, not much. I'm gonna actually shoot them a little more. Okay. There's a torque setting for it, I'm sure, but I ran them like that, okay? There's our old shock. But you can see the bushing was worn, bro. Like, it had space between it. It's been cracking, so nobody replaced the bushing or anything. So we got one in. Do the other side now. Alright, so lug nuts off, okay? Grab a wheel first to sit on, okay? This is what I'm talking about. Look at the gap. You see how they're splitting, and there's a gap in there, okay? And it still has some wiggle room, not a lot, okay? But that gap is not good. Here. Okay, 13. 13, okay? On this. Okay? Now, we got those on there. Let's see if we can do it. There it is. A little bit of pressure on that down there, and you can get it. Off it goes, okay? Grab that. Okay. So we're gonna pop these loose like that. They may not come out yet, so oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Down we go. Pull down. Let it up right here. You're good. Okay. So from here, okay, you can just lift it right out. All right. Get up out of the way. We got our hardware to go in. That is burning hot right now. So yeah, I hope you guys were well. This is just a quick shock video. There's probably about 5 million videos online how to do these, just to be honest with you. There's probably about 1 million of them. It is what it is. It's common that people, they generally will generally change these out like every 50 to 100,000. Okay, I don't think I've done as much maintenance to one Jeep like this. Just everything, even that I haven't filmed, because there's a lot of stuff I really haven't even filmed that was pretty heavy. But I have a feeling if that girl that I talked to earlier, she wants me to fix her Jeep, I'll be doing the transmission swap. So that'll be good, because I haven't done that one on film yet, but they are really easy. The transmission swaps in these are just, especially the straight six, bruh, it's quick. There's one bolt that's kind of a pain in the butt to get out in the top bell housing, but as long as you know what you're doing, you got extensions and swivels, you can make it happen. It's kind of like the 4R100, where it's just a really sticky bolt to get out. But we're gonna take some straps off. Go this way. So yeah, things have been good, bro. I've been working through it, handling my business. Not much work right now, man. I've been I did an oil change on a Highlander today. I got done with the Volkswagen and all that, but yeah, it's just been one of them things. So oh, get in there, fool. Pull that strap out. All right, so we're in that side. We're gonna go for gold on this side here on top, okay? This one's a lot easier to read, so you can see that bushing was smoked, bro, like smoked. So new bushings, new shocks, whole works. I got these for I think like 65 online. I got them cheap, bro. And the only thing I didn't have was hardware, so I spent another $20 on hardware. Big whoop. I could have pounded the studs out of them and tried to reuse the studs, but I was like, yeah, screw that, we're not doing that. So I went up against it and was like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I don't really need to be doing that. Okay, 13 with a 13 wrench up top. Depending on what you get at the store, you might have a different size. So don't play with me. Okay. You see, that's in there. Once again, there's no space. That other bushing was smoked out, bro. Like bad. So we're gonna go with a 15mm socket, okay? And when you're doing this, you can do this on the side of the road if you got a set of shocks, okay? If you have a set of shocks and you're living in an apartment, go to a parking lot. I came out here at Harbor Freight and just did it, mainly because well, stuff in the apartments is busy. Stuff I don't really have time, so I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, bushing's in. We're set. Look, no space. Okay, this has a little bit of wiggle. And we're gonna come back to this side real quick. I gotta clean up here. They're gonna get pissed at me, bro. Tracking me down. That has pretty much nothing, no wiggle in it. So once it's off the ground, you can wiggle these shocks a little more, but you just want to make sure that those are seated in there good. Okay, there's a torque spec for them, I'm sure. Honestly, I have my torque wrench and my torque adapter in there, but I ain't playing around today. So that's really it for these, bro. Just if you get these off of Amazon, I'll leave the link in the description. Go buy M8 by 125 by 30 bolts flange. You can get 10.9 grade or grade 8, 1 and 2, whatever you want to do, but get a flange nut and get a locking washer in there. I just say get the lock washer just because I'm extra safe about stuff that I don't really need any problems. That's just how I operate. So if I don't need one of these things coming loose on me, I'm off running around going crazy. And you know, a lot of people are like, well, why didn't you buy the rough country? You know, why didn't you buy the rough country stuff? Well, if I dumped a lot of money into this, okay, I'm not lifted, then it's a work vehicle. So I went with a cheap set of shocks that honestly had really good reviews on it. So we're gonna go with that. Let's see how that rolls. But I was just kind of mad I didn't get hardware with it. I was kind of surprised. I was like, well, why wouldn't you put the hardware in there? That's kind of weird. But Amazon buy, put the link in the description. A tool list, okay? So you're gonna want a 16mm deep. You're gonna want a 13mm deep socket, 13mm wrench, a optional bar, 21mm for the lug nuts, of course. This was just to cut things loose. What else do we got here? A small pair of vice grips. Oop, it's coming apart. That you can squeeze in there, okay, and pinch. Up top, longer extension. Impact is optional, but that's basically where we are. So Lone Wolf, peace out, bro.